All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Separation Nation. We're glad to be back with you. We have been, I know a lot of you have wondered if we fell off the side of the planet with all the craziness that 2020 has brought, but we are back. We hadn't forgot about y'all. We've missed coming to you. We just simply had a whole lot going on that we had to kind of move our focus to there for about a month and a half. We intended on taking July off and took some vacations and did some traveling and just kind of unwound the best we could with all the craziness in the world, and then got back. Fully intended on starting back shooting in August, and here we are, middle of September. But the good news is we're back and going to be bringing out regular content from now through the remainder of the year for you again. And so a lot of you have written in and messaged on social media and said, what happened, where y'all at? And that really means a lot. We appreciate you reaching out. And for everybody that did reach out, we sent you some free White Buffalo apparel. If for some reason you didn't get yours, or maybe put the order in, or maybe you sent a message in and we might have missed it, where you said, hey, where are y'all at? And we didn't respond, letting you know to send us a mailing address so we could get you some White Buffalo apparel in the mail to thank you for your viewership and your loyalty. Then please message us back on any social media platform, my personal platform, John's personal platform, or the White Buffalo platform, Agents Resource Group, wherever you want to. Just come in and send us a message and we'll get it. I can promise you that. We'll get you some White Buffalo apparel out. And speaking of, we've added several pieces to that. Go on to agentsresourcegroup.com, and if you'll click ARG Gear in the far right corner, you'll see some of the new pieces we've added. Everything from, you can order different size decals to put on your vehicles or on a guitar case, or just, whatever you wanted to use it for. But decals, also license plates for the front of your vehicles. I've got on our golf shirt, which is great quality. We've had golf teams that have basically taken on the White Buffalo philosophy and use that as their team mascot and their team apparel, and have went out and competed in various golf tournaments, and that's great. And anybody that wants to do that, we'd love to help sponsor you for that type of thing. So we've got a lot going on. Just get on our website, get on our social media, check out what's going on. But one of the main things that kept prolonging our starting back shooting here for Separation Nation was some different things that we have, partnerships we've made in our business model. And as many of you know, we're in the final expense life insurance industry. Agents Resource Group is a company that we have basically recruited and hired and put hundreds of people in the insurance business over the course of the past 10 years, and all over the country, but primarily with a strong focus here in the Southeast. And so we've represented a lot of different insurance companies, and we basically were approached and decided to partner and kind of change up our whole business model. So John kind of talk to us and fill them in on what's going on, and we're going to kind of focus on that today.
Yeah, and this is going to give us a great opportunity and platform to answer a lot of questions that we've gotten over the last year or so of doing the podcast. And we did take a short sabbatical, and we hadn't done one in several weeks. And what you got to understand with us, yes, this is a business podcast for business people who feel like they have an entrepreneurial bend to them, or that's kind of part of their DNA or who they are. But it not only is it a podcast for business people, but it's a podcast by business people. Just not own a business. We actually own a couple different businesses. And there's times where, and we've talked a lot about this in the past, about focus and balance. There's times where you kind of got to shift focus into a certain area that needs more attention than others. And that's what we've done over the last couple months. And we've had over the last year a lot of questions about Agents Resource Group and the company that we run together and actually own together, and what we do, how we recruit agents, how we make money, the things that are involved in that. So we decided that we were going to talk about that today, and maybe even again on the next episode, just to kind of explain our business model, what we do, how we do it, and the changes we've made as of late that we're super excited about. And Agents Resource Group is a company that Justin and I created together. We've both been in this industry for combined now between the two of us for over 30 years. And I started out back in around 2000. Here it is, 2020. So right at 20 years ago, and have pretty much stayed in that vein. Got other companies, other things we do, but always our bread and butter and what we've always really concentrated on and spent a lot of time on is recruiting, training, and providing support for final expense life insurance agents. And when I say final expense, what we do is we sell small face whole life insurance policies. We live in an area, and when I say in an area, most everybody listening to this falls in the same boat, because the largest demographic in the United States are people that are 65 and older. Also the largest demographic in the United States are lower income type families that are just trying to get by, trying to make ends meet, trying to pay their bills. And if they had to come up with $10,000 or $15,000 at one time to take care of burial costs or funeral costs or final expense costs, they couldn't do it. And so we serve the largest demographic in the United States, especially in rural Georgia, rural Alabama, South Carolina, Florida, the different areas where we are predominant in. It's a large demographic. Kind of give you an example of that. 10,000 people turn 65 every single day in the United States. That's not in the world. That's just in the United States. 10,000 people are aging in to the demographic that we provide for and that we serve. We've done this for a long time. We've gotten real good at it. We've gotten real good at recruiting. We've gotten real good at marketing. We've gotten real good at training and providing support. And when I say support, I mean things like leads. Leads are a big driving factor for this industry. It's hard to create a business and success cold calling people or working families and friends and different things, doing old models that have worked in the past for certain agencies, but just do not seem to work when you want to do things on the mass level or the massive level that we do. So to be able to provide lead systems and training for these agents is something that we've done over the years, and it's gotten harder and harder. We've had to use different lead vendors and different arenas and different avenues. And so we've made a lot of changes in the last month to try to make that even better. One thing we've done a little differently at Agents Resource Group, we used to partner with about 15 different insurance carriers to provide the needs of, to meet the needs of our agents and our clients. Well, it's kind of arduous when you're spreading your business out across so many different platforms. What it does is it causes training time for new agents to be increased, because not only do they have to learn one type of insurance, but they have to learn 8 different carriers who have 4 or 5 different products within those carriers. So you take a brand new agent and they have to learn 20 or 30 different products and how things work, and underwriting tables and height and weight charts and different types of medications and all of this. And it can be somewhat overwhelming. And so we've seen this as a problem over the years, and we've tried to, to fix that as best we could. But what we figured out is the only way we were going to fix that is to get back to the basics and keep it simple, kind of like the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. And create a platform where we can bring in a brand new agent and get them up and running, rather than it taking 2 or 3 months for them to get fully up and running, trained on 10 or 12 different companies with 4 or 5 different products. We found one company that we could partner with that has 4 or 5 products that are all similar, not the same, but very similar, that has one application process. Everything's online. Everything's done for you. Still has the most competitive compensation packages in the industry and in the nation, and just simplify things. Listen, the more complex your business systems and models get, the less money you're going to make, the less successful you're going to make. Complexity is the enemy to progress. Complexity is the enemy to progress. So as we simplify things, we can scale things. Everything that has ever been scaled on a great scale in business is because it was simplified to a point to where it became simple and it became simplistic. It became easy, step by step. And that's what we've done over the last few months is we've partnered with a company right here in our backyard in Thomasville, Georgia, called Senior Life Insurance Company. Been around for years and years and years. We've known about them for years and years and years. And we've just had the opportunity over the last several months to begin conversations with them about what it would look like to for us to join up with them and to actually have them as the only company that we represent. And instead of representing 8 or 10 or 12 companies, we've replaced all of those with this one company that does it better than anybody in our industry, knows our industry better than any other company. And another thing about Senior Life that we love is this is the only type of insurance they cover, the only type of insurance that they sell. They are a final expense company. They don't sell med sups or med advantage plans. They don't sell big term policies or big whole life policies or annuities or all of these different things, but they sell small face whole life insurance policies called final expense policies. They've mastered it. They've gotten very, very good at it. They got the top lead program in the United States. They have several different types of leads depending on the type of lead that our companies would work. So if you're not in this business, I know that sounds like a lot to you, but if you want to put all that into a neat little package, what we've been doing over the last 2 months is we've been simplifying things so that we can have the opportunity to really scale what we're doing on a national level.
So, again, I mean, we can't state how excited we are about the new changes that John's talking about there. And so, just to answer a side note question, because I know a lot of you follow us on social media, and over the years you've seen, posts from various companies. Final expense life insurance is 100% our bread and butter. It's what's put us on the map. It's what we're obsessed with it. It's 100% our focus. We love that product. We love the ability and basically the simplistic tool that is that we can take and put in a person's hand that maybe feels like they've had a 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, heck, even $80,000 ceiling on their life. And they think, they're maxed out and that's as much as they'll ever be able to make career-wise or in their job. And so this is a tool that we can take. And so this new partnership with Senior Life, basically, as John mentioned, it helps us get more people streamlined into this industry at a faster rate, giving them less to have to keep up with. Again, the simplicity factor of being able to take this one company, run hard with it, and on a scalable model. A lot of times when we talk about scale, people think, well, you're just talking about you and Agents Resource Group because that's your business. Well, the business model that we have and the business model that we have went to with Senior Life gives us an even greater advantage to be able to help the individual, the person coming on brand new, right, to be able to have their own scalable model. Some of you might say, well, that sounds like MLM or multi-level marketing. Well, it first off, it's not that whatsoever. But I will say this, because we do opportunity meetings, and we've had some people say, "Well, that sounds like," and this is kind of a mediocre concept, middle class type concept. You hear people say, "Well, that sounds like a multi-level scam to me, or a multi-level marketing scheme," or they use the scam word and the scheme word and multi-level. First off, you have to understand this about business and life. If you'll just sit back and think objectively, real quick. Everything in life has hierarchy. If you work for a Fortune 500, or heck, if you work for Dollar General, okay, as a sales clerk, you're going to have an assistant manager. You're going to have a manager over that. Then there's going to be a regional manager over a group of stores. And then over that regional manager, there's going to be somebody that, on a state level. And then you've got the actual CEO and president of the whole company. Let me tell you something in life, because people say, well, I don't want to do that because somebody be making money off of me. Let me tell you something. you're living in denial if you think somebody somewhere is not made. Everybody's making money off of somebody. Hierarchy exists for a reason. Certain people in life, based on their skill set and their, what they're equipped with, are able to go only so far. And that's why we have CEOs, and then there's managers, and there's district managers. And so there's all this hierarchy in place in all these other type industries as well. But oftentimes when we get into the sales market, that's when people automatically relate everything to a multi-level marketing deal, more so than they ever do to social media, because every time you turn your computer on or turn your cell phone on, you've got a message from a friend somewhere that says, hey, I want to tell you about this amazing opportunity. And if y'all are like me, probably you hit delete right then immediately and don't even read the rest of it. But listen, the final expense insurance industry is an actual career, okay, with a State Department of Insurance, people with badges and guns, investigators, and a commissioner. And I mean, real regulated industry, a real business that puts real money in real pockets. And some of you might have seen some of the posts we've done. We've just recently come through this. I'm trying to think with pandemic. I say scamdemic so much now that I automatically revert to that, or plandemic. But we've just come, whatever your opinion is of the coronavirus, we've just come through all this situation, still going through it. But it does look like we're maybe beginning to exit out of it. Who would have thought when we did some of our episodes on that back, 6 months ago now, that we'd still be here dealing with all this craziness in the world. But, one thing we talked about then is how it was going to affect jobs, all the shutdown, and how things were going to be affected. Well, just in the past month or two, we did some social media stuff that highlighted the fact the different sectors and industries that have experienced the highest amount of jobless claims and unemployment. And of course, the ones that got hit the hardest, it was a little over 28%, was the leisure and travel industry. And then as that, you begin to break it down, and I won't go through all the sectors, but the industry that experienced the least rise in unemployment at 5.1% increase was the financial services industry. It's our industry. And so, after all the kind of shaking that the country's been through and what we've just come through, it really is time for folks that have lost their job or maybe experienced instability, went a certain amount of months without a paycheck. There's never been a better time to maybe look at getting into something that history has proven, in the final expense insurance industry has been proven time and time again that, it's recession proof. But not only is it recession proof, we've now realized that it's pandemic proof. So if this were to come again, and I'm sure it will, there'll be something arise in coming years, you would be positioned in the best industry possible to take yourself forward.
And one thing too, with what Justin's saying with the pandemic, a lot of our competitors, which we were blessed in this whole thing, we were deemed an essential business from day one. We actually had a paper sent to us by the Department of Homeland Security, basically giving us permission to carry on business as usual. And so, we had an advantage of a lot of people. And one thing that's really hurt a lot of businesses, a lot of friends of mine, friends of ours that we know, their businesses have really suffered because of this. And like Justin said, I'm not going to say it didn't slow us down for a time. I mean, it slowed everybody down for a time. But a lot of our competitors scrambled to try to sell final expense over the telephone, telesales. Listen, if you've been a field sales agent for your entire career, and then all of a sudden you've got to try to sell insurance over the phone, it can be pretty daunting. Another problem with that is most final expense insurance carriers are not set up to actually have the availability to sell their products over the phone. Now, they'll tell you that they have a telesales system, but it's not a good system. It doesn't work. It's very inconvenient. And so one thing about our move to Senior Life, they have probably the best telesales system in the United States. And we're excited to be able to adopt that and to learn that and to be able to add that as just another leg to our company and business. But in going, even a little bit more in what Justin was saying, there's a lot of people out there realizing that their career and their job is affected by events like this tremendously. I mean, you think about it, your entire livelihood is stopped during something like COVID-19 or the coronavirus, because you can't, people can't come to your restaurant, or people can't visit your movie theater, whatever business you own. I know a lot of gyms that were shut down. I know struggling business owners and gym owners that struggled through this. And if it wasn't for bailout money and the government assistance, they wouldn't have made it. And there's a lot of people looking to change careers, looking for something differently. And we want to be able to serve them. You know, when we talk about the ability to train someone in this business, and not only give them the ability to make a living for their family, but to also be able to give them the support and the training that they need to teach them how to recruit and build their own team. And to cut that ability from realistically at last year, we could take a manager and he could probably build a team of 12 in a 1 year period. We can take that same manager now with this new system and build a team of 45 or 50 agents in a year realistically. So what we've done is we've scaled our ability to help other people scale. And once you're allowing people to scale their own model, and ultimately that scales your model, then you're on to something. Then you're able to grow by leaps and bounds, not just in one direction, but in multi directions. And that's what we're excited about, the ability to train a manager to build a team that will affect them and that will bring them in residual income for years and years and years and years, and give them the ability to own their own business, to have their own company. It's just exciting. And that's something we've tried. That's the model we've tried to improve on every year since we've been in business. And we really feel good about where that's headed right now.
Yeah, well, when Ron Powell, who's president, CEO of the company, along with Robert Shiver, vice president, and we can't say enough about those guys. I mean, so far we're just extremely confident in our relationship with them, extremely impressed with the power that we're seeing that's coming in the partnership just right out of the gate. For those of you that follow us on social media, you've probably seen the beginning of last week, it was a video that was put out, an official announcement, kind of a hype reel or hype video about us joining the Senior Life family there. And, and that just expresses too, I mean, where the excitement level and where we're at. And really there's some aspects about that partnership that's just going to be absolutely massive due to confidentiality agreements and things we can't talk about right now. Matter of fact, we'll be thrilled to release it when we can. But just the fact of the matter is, some huge things that as of this moment we can't necessarily release. But when Ron Powell reached out and basically contacted us and said, "Listen, I want to speak with you guys," and he had done that before. I was reminded, a little over a year ago. But just timing is everything in life, and so the timing just happened to be right. And John and I took the meeting and sat down and just also to hear Ron Powell's story and what he's overcome to be able to build a company that's the size and the magnitude. I mean, they're in the top 3 of the largest final expense insurance companies in the nation, and quickly have a plan and are quickly on track in the coming years to become the number 1 company in the country as far as moving the highest amount of annualized premium in any given year. And so now that we've kind of looked behind the curtain, so to speak, and see their systems and their models, there's absolutely no way that they would not be able to accomplish that. And we're going to help them accomplish that. And so we're coming alongside them. And again, just the power of that partnership. I mean, we're going to experience more growth, or already experiencing more growth in just a short amount of weeks we've been with them than months and months and months prior. And so we're moving full blast, and we've got more opportunity now for more people, like John was talking about. From now going forward, it's not just the ability to take a field agent, to train him, and change his life, and then begin to change others' lives that may join his team. Now we've got whole other divisions that we're in the middle right now of developing, and at the very latest, by the first of the year, and I won't say a whole lot about this right now. I'll just simply say that we're doubling the square footage of our corporate offices, and increasing our ability to reach out, to be able to help more people, to serve more people. And so realistically, we're looking at, a large call center, telesales, that at the very latest, again, by the first of the year, will be up, fully running and functional, and the ability to be able to reach a broad spectrum of people all over the United States, actually 40 states, through telesales, on top of what our field force is continuing to grow and do. And I know some of you, just as a side note that may follow us on social media, you've seen over the years we've used the brand, so just the brand Paramount Benefits Group. So just so you understand, in all of our transitioning, we do have a division and a group of people, and that continues to grow, but does nothing solely but Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement, as well as dental and vision, ancillary products. And basically that Paramount Benefits Group does solely that now. And our final expense division is 100% all with senior life, and that's John and I's focus. And as will the telesales be, nothing but senior life final expense insurance. So we are still involved in that medical side, or Medicare side, excuse me. But it's just a completely separate company and separate division. That's why you don't see a lot from us about that anymore.
And, just kind of piggyback off what Justin was saying, it can get confusing. We're not an insurance company, but we work with Senior Life as our insurance company, and we distribute their product. We recruit agents, train agents, and give them support, all the support that they need to be successful with Senior Life. And to, from a recruiting standpoint, we have really turned that up. And the reason being is because we're more confident now than we've ever been with the company and the platform that we're running on. It's easier to recruit when you're confident about what you're doing and the message that you're spreading. And so recruiting has been amped up tremendously. But let's take 10 minutes and kind of wrap up with this. And let's talk about change, because here's the thing. We're in a ever-changing industry, and if you do not adapt, you die. It's kind of like the old saying, where's the dinosaurs? Well, they didn't adapt, so they died. It's no longer dinosaurs. But in business and in life, you've got to recognize change when it's coming. And models that work for years and years and years don't always work forever. Sometimes you got to realize that there's old systems that are becoming archaic. And if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. We've all heard that saying before. But change isn't always easy. Change is something that, as human nature, we resist it. We resist growth. We resist change. We resist doing anything out of the ordinary, out of our comfort zone. And so when we had the opportunity to change and really shift, our goals haven't changed. What we do necessarily hasn't changed. Our focus hasn't changed, but how we do it has changed tremendously. And I think that's what gets you to that next level. We talk about working out a lot. If you lift heavy weights all of the time, you're going to get big and you're going to get bulky, but you can't always do that. There's a time that you have to get more conditioned and you have to change it up a little bit. You got to add some cardio in. You got to raise the reps up higher. And to really change your body, you've got to change the method that you approached it with. And that's kind of where we've been over the last few months. We've been making some changes and some tweaks. We've been getting rid of some companies that we've worked with and bringing in a brand new one, and one that can, meet the needs. We've changed up our recruiting style and some of the things we've done. And we're doing the same thing that we've always done, but we're doing it very differently. The methods have changed.
Much more efficiently. And see, that's the thing, and we brought our management team in a while back when we first started talking about that, and we had them watch the movie The Founder. It's Michael Keaton plays Ray Kroc in that movie, and there's some negative things in the movie, but the part of the movie that we wanted to grab a hold of
is that this man did not invent anything, did not create anything, he wasn't a cook or a chef or a restaurant owner or manager, but he recognized that there was a system created by two brothers, and they basically, with this system that they had created, he believed that if he got behind it and they would allow him to be a part of it, he could revolutionize the restaurant industry and actually create something called fast food, something efficient. And, we kind of set all our managers down and say, this is what we want to do with the insurance business, the final expense insurance business. We want to become the McDonald's. We're not going to sell fried chicken, and we're not going to sell roast beef. We want to sell one product with one company, and we want to sell more than anybody else in this nation sells, and we want to do it better than anybody else does. And that's what McDonald's did. I don't get excited about a Big Mac or a Happy Meal, but listen, they sell more hamburgers than anybody else because they're good, they're efficient, they're fast. Their prices are very, very a great value, and you know what you're getting. You get the same thing. You get a hamburger with the same amount of onions, 2 pickles on every burger. They've got systems down that are easy to replicate, easy to duplicate. And so they were able to franchise this business and spread all over the United States quickly, like wildfire, because it was a reproducible system. And so that's what we've done. We've stripped down all of the fluff. We've got rid of a lot of the products that we sell, and we've created a system so that we can create jobs for people who need jobs, especially in times of recession, especially in times of pandemics. This isn't the first pandemic. This won't be the last one, and there'll be many more recessions throughout our lifespan. But we want to create the ability to bring in agents, just like what the name of our company is, Agents Resource Group. We are a group that creates all of the resources that an agent needs to have to be successful. It's all in our name, Agents Resource Group. And we want to be a resource to the insurance carrier and to the agents that come on. We want to be that conduit in between that marries those two together and says, look, we're going to teach you how to sell their products. We're going to teach you how to sell their products efficiently. And we're not only going to teach you that, but we're going to equip you. We're going to give you the lead systems that you need. We're going to give you the training that you need. And we're going to teach you how to reproduce yourself, how to bring on other agents, and how to take this model that we have and duplicate it over and over and over and over again so that we can impact families, we can impact people personally, and actually change their lifestyle and actually bring financial freedom to people all over the United States.
And listen, guys, we're very proud of what we've built up to this point. We've grown and done more. I mean, 1 in 1,000 insurance agencies would ever get to the size and done the things that we've done over the course of the past 10 years. But it was very much a crowning moment. We're very appreciative of Ron Powell and the opportunity that was given to us with Senior Life when Ron reached out, because, it meant also a lot to us because we know what we've done over the past 10 years. We know what we've built, and to have somebody of Ron Powell's stature that's done what he's done. I mean, they're on course to do well over $70 million in annualized premium this year. I mean, a huge, huge company, and that's a lot when you're talking about final expense, small face life insurance. But to have him come in and say, listen, we want to partner with you guys. We want you to help us to accomplish, to reach our goals and get to the next level. And it meant a lot to us, and we're excited. We're excited for this opportunity, and we really believe this will be the biggest move. This is our home run move, and John and I are excited. We're going to be traveling all over the country with Senior Life on behalf of Senior Life, speaking about Senior Life and the opportunity and the scalable system to change your life and to build something great. And so that's our mission. That's what we're doing now. And again, very, very much like what we were doing, just simplified and made way more efficient so that we can communicate, get more people into this life-changing career on a much larger scale. And that's what it's all about, is changing lives. So,
absolutely. And so, I'll leave you with this. This is more industry focused to the industry we're in, but we get so many questions about that because so many of our followers are in the same industry or are intrigued by this industry. So we'll probably do a few more of these podcasts like this. But I'll leave you with this. anything that's growing is changing. You've got to be open to change, willing to change, or life will pass you by. You got to be able to be like the Apple and see the iPod that's going to replace the Walkman or replace the boombox and all these things. You got to be able to adapt and change in every industry. I don't care what industry you are in. You've got to be able to adapt and to change. And one thing that we've always talked about on these podcasts is having a vision, having goals, writing those goals down, accomplishing those goals. You write them down, you break them down, then you run them down. The same thing we're doing with this change. We're excited more excited than we've ever been, because now not only do we have big goals, but we see ourselves kind of collapsing time and getting to those goals a lot quicker because we got a more efficient system. So anyway, thank you for joining us again today. Don't forget about the White Buffalo apparel. Don't forget to share this, to like this podcast, share this with your friends and family. You go to Spotify, you can go to best place to watch this is on YouTube, iTunes, all the different venues or avenues where podcasts are shared.